Andy, I see you're here, so you obviously have a question for me?
Yep, we have a written question from 2 weeks ago. So Okami is asking, what do you think will happen when Illidan returns? Given the fact that leader of the Alliance, well, the standing one, which is Anduin, is staying back in Shadowlands, and presumably Turalyon is going to be the stand-in.
Yeah.
And obviously Illidan killed his idol, right? Xe'ra.
Yeah.
And also, Illidan seemed to have made peace with Malfurion. And Okami feels that this might lead to a conflict with Night Elves and the Lightforged. What do you think of this?
Well, so the problem there would be, yes, Turalyon and Illidan had their issues after the death of Xe'ra, but wasn't the hatchet more or less buried? I don't know if Turalyon... Of course, this depends on where Turalyon is on his evolution of, oh my fucking god, you're a crazy light maniac. So, never forget, there is still the Whisper. The Crown of Light brings only darkness. So, Turalyon claiming the vacant throne, because by the way, right now, the throne is actually vacant. Anduin's choosing to stay behind inside the Shadowlands means that the throne of Stormwind is now fully vacant. Remember previously, Anduin was abducted, which meant Anduin still sat on the throne, he was simply missing. With Anduin now choosing to remain within the Shadowlands, Anduin is effectively abdicating, right? He's effectively stepping away from the throne and saying, well, no, I have a duty here, and until this duty is complete, I am remaining. So the crown, the golden one claims a vacant throne. That would be Turalyon. The throne of the crown of light brings only darkness. That would be Turalyon. Now, did Malfurion and Illidan actually make peace? There were 3 letters.
I would say so.
You had 3 letters. Tyrande did not give 2 fucks about his letter, right? Tyrande felt like she was completely unmoved. What did Malfurion say again, or how did he act again at the end of his letter when you gave the letter to him? He was actually sort of surprised at Illidan, like, he didn't know that Illidan had sacrificed so much, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, he wasn't angry, he was actually sort of surprised because he didn't know. So the Crown of Light brings only darkness means that Turalyon isn't just going to start a war with the Night Elves, because he is most likely going to. Malfurion is obviously going to back Illidan, no matter what. Which means Turalyon might have a problem. I just don't know if the problem would be started by Xe'ra. Do you have any insights into why you think the Xe'ra issue would still be an issue for Turalyon?
Personally, no. I think it was more of a waking goal, but I guess they can spin it in either way, because only him, Turalyon, and the group that was there present knew what happened. And obviously the Lightforged army is not created only by them. Yeah. So I guess the power of masses could have a hold. But if it's purely about Turalyon, I don't think that is a problem.
Well, it all depends on Uriel. Like, Uriel, if Uriel comes back and sort of shows up on Azeroth, we may have a real problem. Because do you imagine the light? Do you think the Night Elves would give up their worship of Elune in order to bend the knee to the light?
No, I think Night Elves don't really have anything to do with Illidan. That was more on a personal level between him and Malfurion.
Yeah,
I'm
but
pretty sure that they don't agree with Illidan.
Well, it's not the Illidan thing. You can forget about the Illidan thing, because I don't actually think you need Illidan in order to start a war between Stormwind and the Night Elves. Remember, the Night Elves right now are in Stormwind. That's where their refugee camps are. They're basically displaced within Stormwind. If Turalyon claims the vacant throne, and the Crown of Light brings only darkness, if you have Uriel return, and now, remember, last time we saw her, she was going apeshit on Alternative Draenor, basically forcing everyone to join the light. Now, what do you think the Night Owls do when someone comes and says, fuck your Elune worship, you shall worship the light. The Night Elves immediately go ballistic, right?
I think most of them would react this way, but I think based on what happened with the tree and how Alone didn't save them, some of them might have doubts, and that might be the darkness.
Even then, I don't see Tyrande and Malfurion turning against Elune or bending the knee to the light. And a lot of Night Elves would, so it would cause a ripple effect, which is ultimately what I think is going to happen. If Blizzard has the balls to tell the story, what will happen is a lot of the Alliance will join Turalyon and Uriel, because why not? And then a lot of others will actually join the Night Elves because they don't agree that the light is above all and everyone should bend the knee to the light. And so you're going to get this sort of fanatical fight within the Alliance where Turalyon and his forces are trying to subjugate the entirety of Azeroth to form basically the biggest army of light ever seen. And of course, the Horde isn't going to fall for that, nor is the Alliance, or at least most within the Alliance isn't going to fall for that. So it is going to be this massive war, this civil war within the Alliance that plays out. And I would love to fucking see that. The Tauren would 100% go help the Night Elves. Yes. It would also, by the way, be a brilliant way of building 2 new factions, right? Where your race does not determine your faction, but more your decision. So you make a choice whether you want to join Turalyon's army or you want to join the free armies of the world. So if you are someone that believes the light should rule all, you're obviously going to join Turalyon, but if you think, fuck that, freedom above everything else, you're going to join the other side. It gives you more freedom and also allows you to still have a faction game, but not necessarily as hard set as the old factions were. Because this could absolutely be a faction purely based on story. It doesn't have to have any actual game implications, if that makes sense. So yeah, I can see that. I just quickly want to see here, Baltazar gave $5. Thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate it. Do you think our constant conflict and destruction affects Azeroth? Personally, I believe when she wakes, she won't be entirely pure. Dude, you're asking me a question now that is actually part of a script that I'm writing, but short answer, and I'll give Andy an opportunity to sort of chime in here, but short answer, I don't even think Azeroth is a Titan, bro. Azeroth is something else, something entirely different. This is why the Titan sort of said she's the strongest Titan they've ever come across, because she's not a Titan. And I don't think our fighting affects her in any way, shape, or form. I think people stabbing her, not with a sword, of course, because there is no sword, but people stabbing her and, you know, people ripping shit out of the planet, I think that affects her, but I don't think our fighting disturbs her in any way, shape, or form. Andy, what about you?
I think that our actions don't really have direct consequence on the world soul itself.
Yeah.
Maybe the actions of like higher external powers, maybe. But I also think that Azeroth isn't the same as the other Titans. And by the way, if anybody wants to know more about this, we have discussed this on episode 7 of Lifecraft, which is on Patreon.
Yeah, if you're a patron or a YouTube channel member, I think Warrior of the Beard or $5 tier on Patreon, you can go check that out. We had a massive discussion around Azeroth and what she is.
It's more than 40 minutes, so that should have everything you want.
There's actual lore that suggests that Azeroth isn't a Titan. But okay, so Carmagen, thank you for 2,000. I really appreciate it. Grooming Illidan into a light bimbo would make Xe'ra a sex offender. Well, why would Illidan be groomed into a light? I don't think Illidan would be groomed. Turalyon can shut his face. Also, he would need to convert the dwarves, the gnomes, and the worgen to, and his GF is void, Garrosh life path. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, because there's already going to be, like, look, the path for Turalyon's complete and utter fuck up has already been laid out, and you don't even need Xe'ra for it. Just to be clear, in Shadows Rising, in the book, there is one scene where Turalyon uses his light to sort of hold someone down, while Illyria uses her void to effectively torture them, to jump into their mind and look at their memories at great pain to the person that this was happening to. And Jaina sees this, and Jaina is rightfully fucking outraged by the fact that Turalyon and Illyria is doing this in their hunt for Sylvanas. So you don't even need Turalyon to join up with Uriel in order to get this darkness that is unleashed. It could just be that thanks to the light and the void being in such close proximity to one another, it influences both, and they actually open the way for the darkness. They actually bring about sort of another cataclysmic event on Azeroth. So I can absolutely see that happen. There are ways for that to happen. But yeah, look at that enhanced interrogation tactic in action. Pretty much, yeah. Andy, was there anything else, or?
No, that's cool. By the way, the previous one, Stefan, he had internet problem, I'm pretty sure. Okay. So he will ask the question next.
All right, cool stuff. Just quickly here, DJ Tyrant says, thanks for answering my question. Was thinking maybe make a feral Worgen an allied race and give them unique class called Werewolf, Wolfman, Woman. That could work, but what would a woman class be exactly, DJ Tyrant? I feel like we're bordering on Twitter outrage here. Like if you just had a class called Woman, it has the class is 3 specs. One of the specs is called Woman. So it's werewolf, it's the werewolf, wolfman, and woman spec. I feel like that could create some clear issues on Twitter for a lot of people. Would be funny as fuck to witness, but it might create some issues for people. This Q&A is live on YouTube only, yes. It's every Monday we do a Q&A on YouTube. We're gonna go live on Twitch right after this, but yeah. I know what they meant, Navras. I was just going the extra mile, you know, to really turn this into a spicy topic. But I know what DJ meant.